Hey everybody, today I want to talk to you about Jennifer Lopez's most recent project. I haven't watched the documentary or the film she has created, but I watched a reaction video to it. And of course, people are entitled to their opinion. However, some of the comments that I read didn't make sense, and I think they are based on unnecessary as well as unfair, inapplicable criteria. Everybody reaches their own conclusion according to their own perception, and that's fair game. What isn't fair though is when people start making comments like, "She's over the hill. How dare she? Where does she think she's going with this? She doesn't have a right to be creating because she's too old. Nobody can relate to her. The kids don't even know her. We don't care about her." Wait a minute. Is that a rule that should guide life? That people, once they reach a certain age, should refrain from it, should not create, should not live, so as to avoid offending the collective? Today, more than ever, we are such a large human community. 8 billion of us worldwide, 3 more billion than there should be a maximum capacity. I've got news for you. Not everybody is under 40. Some of us are Generation X and older. Imagine all these artists, dancers, actors, painters, writers, poets, whatever they may be, who wish to continue producing but have to stop and consider whether they're offending the young generations, the kids who are under 40 years old, whether it is an album, a documentary, a painting, a film, whatever it is they wish to create or they've got an idea for. And imagine if they have to consider whether that criteria meets the standards of 2024, because I heard people judging as JLo's music being very passé. The new stuff that she created is very 2000s, 20 years backward. It doesn't matter whether something is backward or forward. If a person wishes to paint it, record it, write it, they've got every right and freedom to do so, whether they're offending your aesthetic standards or not. I can't believe it that in 2024, where you are fighting for your claim and your right to be binary or whatever else it is you want to identify as, you still got the audacity to use ageism as a point of putting somebody down or saying that they don't have a right to live and that they're not relatable. Who are they not relatable to? To you, the young kids? What about the people who are 40 years old plus? Don't they need somebody that they can feel they can relate to? I guess in 2024, everybody can hop on YouTube and create a reaction video or paste whatever it is they want to on social media and judge everybody for criteria that is not really constructive criticism. If you're going to talk about somebody's messages being wrong, that they're pushing through their work, if they are stepping on somebody's rights, yeah, go for it. If you're going to discuss the quality of the work, yeah, go for it. If you're going to discuss the morals that are urging this piece of work to come out, okay, go for it. But if you're going to sit there and tell me that somebody's too old, too ugly, too unrelatable for you, for your standard to be making stuff, then you're going to have to sit down. I don't agree with JLo wearing fur coats, especially at a critical time for our planet and our living beings who are becoming extinct because of our actions. And I remind you, every 24 hours, every day of the year, more than 200 species become extinct because of our cruel way of life and our egotistical, self-centered, compassionless attitude. So today more than ever, JLo should not be wearing the skin or fur of animals. She should be moving forward to a new future with new realities, new boundaries, and new acknowledgement, new awareness, including self-awareness, new values in place we had shied away from in the past, we hadn't even thought about or were ignorant about in previous generations, decades, and years. I heard comments such as $30 million for that film that she made, she could have spent it feeding the needy. I agree there are loftier purposes out there that we should be looking towards, but unfortunately we're not always doing that. So why is it important for one filmmaker to spend the money that they have put toward a project on a charitable cause instead? But that's not applicable anymore when we're dealing with a producer who has got a few investors pouring money into a film, an album, a tour, or whatever else the creative vision may be. Isn't that a little bit of a double standard? And also, at a time that you see people on social media spending millions of dollars on the wardrobes, on plastic surgery, which I'm not saying that they shouldn't embark on improving their appearance with cosmetic procedures if that's what they want to do, all within a mindful frame, of course, without abusing themselves and without entering dysmorphia or surgery addiction. But why are we not applying the same rules of charity to the people who are posing on social media with Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent as a status symbol? And worse still, Hermes, each of the bags costing $15,000 and above, tearing the skin of a crocodile, a baby cow, and an animal who wanted to live so we can pretend we are high class or that we've got enough money to buy our ass something that luxe. Where are our priorities for charitable causes and feeding the needy then? Out the window, right? Because it involves ourselves, not a celebrity anymore. I think that it's time that we relaxed and step back a little from the way that we're treating famous people, because the pressures we are placing upon them, you might laugh at this or you will, but seriously, it's not easy living under the magnifying glass all the time, under a microscope. The pressures that we are applying upon them when we are judging every element and decision of their life are just ridiculous. The way that we treat celebrities is enough to affect the mental health of the most strong and intact person, let alone someone who's already suffering from mental health problems, like a lot of those creative types do. Our constant judgment and scrutiny add to the pressures that they feel. Then we wonder why they're having a breakdown, why are they going through self-doubt, why do they need validation, why are they feeling insecure, why? Just because a person has acquired wealth through their career, it doesn't mean that they must pay for it by being constantly berated, spat on, rubbed and dragged through the mud, and just treated with complete callousness. Whether famous or not, people are allowed to make mistakes too, just as we are. Life doesn't come with a manual for celebrities. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't be accountable or decent people. So if you have constructive criticism for them for the ethics driving their work or the quality of the work, fair enough. But in 2024, when you're supposed to be, as I said, lit and woke, and you can choose your gender identity or orientation, and you have the expectation for people to respect it, then you should also respect others' choices, whether they decided to abstain for 20 years from recording anything in a studio and then all of a sudden wanting to create something, or whether they choose to never create anything at all, or even if at 70 they've come forward and all of a sudden they want to record again. Life is not privy for those who are under 40, neither is creativity. How about you throw your ageism out the window? In closing, I will say two things. Not everything should be a clone of each other. I heard people say that J-Lo's recent recording is very old-fashioned and very 2000s. Well, nothing says that it is a must that somebody should record in a specific style. I mean, there are people making films out there that are very futuristic, and this apocalyptic thing for short films became so boring, drab, and repetitive for a while about 15 years ago. And I think they're still interested in zombie apocalyptic films, aren't they? I don't know. And I don't care, because I don't want to follow current trends. I want to be true to whatever my creative urges command. There is no such thing as they're backward in style unless they are promoting backward ideas that are impeding on the rights of any living being and earth. If somebody wants to recreate 1990s R&B or a silent film, kudos to them. It is not up to you to tell them it's out of date and not applicable. I haven't watched J-Lo's documentary or her film. I don't know if it is self-indulgent, not convincing, in poor taste, or whatever else. What I and everybody should have a major problem with, though, is with anyone saying that she's too old to be creating, that her style is too passé, and that she's too irrelevant for you. I'm sorry, the world does not evolve around you. Everybody is an individual and they can do as they like, providing they're not hurting anybody. With that, take care, and I'll speak to you in the next episode.